Hey YouTube, how the hell are you? Welcome to the Matt Cave, a show where I review modern games, retro games, and everything in between. Today's game is one that's very near and dear to my heart. Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. Eventually, I plan on looking at all the main series Rayman games. But since this one's my favorite, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one first.
I freaking loved this game when I was a kid. I still love this game today. But is it really as great as I remember it to be? I mean, I haven't played through it in its entirety since I was 13. So is it possible that I've been blinded by nostalgia goggles?
Let's find out.
Just for reference, I'll be taking a look at the PS2 version of this game. I would much rather be looking at the HD version on either the PS3 or Xbox 360. But considering I don't have either at the moment, this will have to do. I would highly recommend picking up the HD version if you have the means though.
Let's not delay any further. Time to take a look at this game.
Right off the bat, we're greeted with an epic opening with the song Matter by Groove Armada. And this is just the opening title sequence. If this doesn't tell you right from the start that this game is gonna kick some serious ass, I don't know what does. After we watched that, and we've started our save file. Oh, that's mature Matt playing the game. That's real mature.
Shut up! I'm having fun!
Anyway, after that, we start with a supposedly peaceful cutscene.
Let me set the stage for you.
It's a peaceful night in the Glade of Dreams. Red lums are spreading life throughout the land, and the shepherd teensies are heading home for the night, accompanied by Murphy, who made his debut in the previous game. All seems well in the land. But wait. What's this? Enter the Black Lum Andre, who proceeds to transform all the red lums into more black lums. The black lums proceed to wreak havoc across the land and transform Andre into...
an evil redneck with a suit made out of flesh, also known as a hoodlum. I see what they did there.
Andre chases Murphy through the forest. Murphy finds Rayman and Globox and tries to wake them up, but Rayman won't budge. Globox tries to drag Rayman by his hands, but surprise surprise, his hands aren't attached to his body and they just fucking pop off. That's right, Rayman gets dismembered. Even more so than he already is. Globox takes off with Rayman's hands and Murphy is left to carry Rayman by his hair. I'm surprised his head doesn't pop off as easily as his hands did. This leads right into the first part of the gameplay. An on-rail segment. In a platformer. Great. You're pretty much just collecting red lums? They look like lums, but they have no wings. I don't even know. I thought all the red lums are hoodlums now? Anyway, you're collecting red things and Murphy, voiced by Billy West, yes, that Billy West, is running his fucking mouth the entire time. Get used to this for the time being, because this fucker never shuts up. After a while, Murphy gets tired of carrying you and rewards you with your first parachute jump.
Parachute not included!
Phew. He then proceeds to pull out the manual to the game. That's right, folks. This game takes the fourth wall and just tells it to fuck off. Murphy gives you a brief rundown of what we just saw in the opening cutscene. I guess for Rayman's sake, because you, the player, just saw it. He also tells you about the point system in this game. Yes, this game has a point system.
Let me demonstrate. Keep an eye on the counter. Whenever you score points, the indicator appears and you switch to combo mode. This is where things get really cool. In combo mode, your actions are worth even more points. But you gotta act fast. If your scoring stops, combo mode stops. One last thing. Points can buy you access to hidden levels, so try to score big!
And with that, we're off to find Globox and our severed hands. Well, after learning the controls, of course.
It says here that you hit the jump button in order to jump. Wowee. Now that's what I call info. Here, it tells you to hit the shoot button when you want to attack. Come on, don't tell me guys get paid to write this junk. What? This is out of control. The manual claims that you can make a chopper out of your hair. Make a chopper of your hair. Sounds like someone's been eating paint chips again.
So yeah, after that bit of fun, we find Globox hiding in a barrel. Only to lose him again 5 seconds later after Andre shows up.
I was told that after Rayman 2, I'd be cast as a tormented artist who falls for a girl with great big eyes. And here I am, still playing a sidekick in a low-budget flick. Yeesh.
Very subtle boob joke there, Murph. But I agree, this shit with Globox is ridiculous. It's like we're supposed to hate this fucker. We're always losing him, and, well, you'll see. Side note, this has nothing to do with the plot, but just watch this.
The force grows stronger in Andre. If you don't hurry, he's gonna start telling everyone he's your father.
That's just great.
So now we've got to go after Andre and find Globox again. Why we just let Andre run right past us is beyond me. After finding Andre and beating the shit out of him for a bit, he reveals that he plans to turn the heart of the world into an army of hoodlums and flies off. Why didn't Rayman just grab him while Andre was all up in his face? Who knows? This is where the power-ups in the game are introduced.
What could this be? The laser detergent that transforms your clothes into combat fatigues.
Combat fatigues! That's exactly what we need! You're right!
Rayman, no! It belongs to the hoodlums. It might be dangerous.
And the Oscar goes to someone else! Fuck you, Murphy! Fuck you!
So, yeah, there are 5 of these power-ups in total. The green power-up is used to shrink down enemies and bring down previously unreachable platforms. The red power-up gives Rayman heavy metal fists that highly increase the damage Rayman deals out to enemies and gives you the ability to break down wooden doors. The blue power-up gives you lockjaw fists that Rayman can use to latch onto enemies and deliver an electric shot. It's also used to swing from flying hooks. The orange power-up gives you an explosive rocket fist that you can control to hit hard to reach targets. And last but not least, the yellow power-up gives Rayman the ability to briefly fly higher. And by briefly, I mean for like 3 seconds. Getting back to the plot. While chasing Andre through the Fairy Council, we supposedly reunite with Globox, who proceeds to swallow Andre after the two collide with each other. While regrouping near the heart of the world, we find out that Andre isn't dead.
I guess Globox doesn't have a digestive system. Or stomach acid. Anything like that? No? Okay.
Well, since we obviously can't keep essentially the spawn of Satan near the heart, we're told by the teensies that we need to take Globox to the doctor in the Clear Leaf Forest. Murphy tells us to be careful, and that Andre will probably force Globox to drink fermented plum juice, which Globox is allergic to. Afterwards, he says, well, this.
See you in Rayman 4!
Fuck you, Murphy! Fuck you! You know what? Fuck this review! I'm done! Fucking done! Still here? Sorry. As you can see, I'm a tad bit upset, because spoiler alert, we never got a Rayman 4. Instead, we got Rayman Raving Rabbids, which arguably destroyed the Rayman series.
To get to the Clear Leaf Forest, we must take the Teensy Highway. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. There are only 3 of these segments in total, and I feel like that's not enough. When we get to the Clear Leaf Forest, we discover a new part of this game. Teensy's trapped in cages that you must punch to free them.
Thanks, Big Nose. Look what I swiped from the Hoodlums.
I need to go fire up the barbecue.
When you free a Teensy, they'll use their magic to conjure up something helpful to you, whether it be power-ups or gems to get a higher score. They'll also say some pretty strange stuff before disappearing.
I have to turn the gas off. I gotta go finish my yogurt. Stay and chat, but it's bingo night. I have to go file my taxes.
I gotta go make a fashion store.
I have to go do my modern jazz class.
The main objective of the level is leading Globox through the Clear Leaf Forest, while simultaneously beating the living shit out of Hoodlums. And there are many different types of variations of these guys. In this level, we encounter Hoodmongers, Slapdashes, Hoodmonger Soldiers, and Hoodbooms, who throw explosive bottles of plum juice at you. Speaking of plum juice, that's actually the secondary objective of most levels with Globox. Finding barrels of plum juice for Globox to drink, so Andre won't complain as much. But remember, Globox is allergic to plum juice, so it has some strange effects on him, like making him inflate like a balloon and float places, has him burp out bubbles you can bounce on to get to higher platforms, and just get straight up wasted.
I'm not kidding. It's amazing.
Just when we see that the doctor's office is just up ahead, we encounter our first boss, Master Cag. From what I can tell, Master Cag is a hoodlum without legs that uses giant mechanical legs to walk around. And don't get too close, because he will flatten you if you do. This battle isn't too hard, it's just a matter of, well, let me just show you.
See? Easy as hell.
After that and crushing a bunch of hoodlums with Cag's legs, we finally get Globox to the doctor, whose methods are unorthodox to say the least. Long story short, he can't get Andre out, so he sends us to another doctor in the land of the living dead, so it's back to the Teensy Highway, which is broken. So we make a wrong turn and land in the Bog of Murk, the swamp level of this game.
Why does Michel Ancel love swamp levels so much? I know he wasn't really involved in this game as much, but Rayman fans who played all the games back me up here. There's a lot of fucking swamp levels in Rayman. It's like Ancel has a hard-on for swamps. Ew.
I guess it's not that bad. This is the only swamp-like level in the game after all, so a swamp fetish doesn't shine through that much. After a less than pleasant encounter with the second boss of the game, Begoniax the Swamp Witch, and after kicking her ass to the curb, we use her magic mirror to travel deeper into the Bog of Murk after we hear Glowbox calling from inside the mirror. So as we travel deeper into the Bog of Murk, we find a strange mansion. So, against better instincts, we go into it. Turns out it's owned by a hunter known as Razov, which is the third boss of the game. The name Razov is a reference to General Zarov from The Most Dangerous Game, which, for the uninformed, is a short story about a hunter who, after hunting so many animals, gets bored and inhabits an island where he hunts people. It's a good read, I'd recommend it. Once Razov catches wind that we're wandering his humble abode, he wants you dead. Really living up to his namesake. He's really not that difficult, just punch him and dodge his shots and chase him around his mansion. And be careful, because when you enter certain rooms, the doors will close and Razov will try to shoot you sniper style 3 times before opening the doors again. Just hide behind statues and furniture until he runs out of ammo. After wearing down his health bar, he retreats to his basement, where you battle him while he's atop a wrecking ball.
If you're waiting for a certain reference, you can forget it. Not gonna happen. Nope. Oh shit! God! Oh, my knee! Shit! I shattered my fallopian tubes! Ah!
Anyway, after pummeling him with the heavy metal fist power-up enough, the chain of the wrecking ball will break and we're taken down to the dungeon. Razov is about to straight up murder Glowbox, but he gets spooked by these ugly little bug things and runs off, but runs into Begoniax, who seems to have quite the infatuation with Razov, and says some strangely kinky things for a rated E game. After going through Razov's magic mirror, we end up where we were actually heading to in the first place, the land of the livid dead, which, despite the name, is so fucking peaceful. This is probably my favorite level of this game. It's just beautiful, and the music is to die for. While the atmosphere is peaceful at first, the level is crawling with hoodlums, including some new additions to the roster, including Hoodstormers that fly around and shoot at you, Grim Keepers which hold up a shield which makes them difficult to hit, and also send out Grims which are little suicide bombers that run at you while carrying exploding bottles of plum juice. The Hoodoos which are sorcerers that protect other hoodlums from your hits until you kill the Hoodoos themselves. Oh, and these giant motherfuckers that take forever to kill. This level also introduces another segment of this game where you shrink down and use your shoe as a car, while you chase down your other shoe and run it over a couple times.
Okay, Ubi Soft. Okay.
After we kick some ass and free some teensies, the teensies reveal their world for us. Apparently, there's some other teensies trapped inside this said world. So after we free them, we fight a robot octopus. Yep, our fourth boss is a giant robot octopus. Beating this boss isn't hard at all. Come to think of it, most bosses in this game are pretty damn easy. And with that can of whoop ass being thoroughly opened, we get to the doctor's office, where once again, the doctor proceeds to play Glowbox as an instrument. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't fucking work. So once again, we're sent to another doctor, this time in the desert of the Canaran. So one more ride on the teensy highway later, there we are. Don't let this first area fool you. This is not a lava level. And at this point, you're left asking the question, what the hell is a Canaran and where are they? Well, after some good old platforming and freeing some teensies, we find out that in order to get to the doctor, we'll have to go through the underground tunnels, which are crawling with these Canarans we've heard so much about. And we learn that they're invincible, meaning we can't kill them. And if you get in their path, they will fuck you up. And these things are scary as hell, like holy shit. These bastards are the reason I put this game away for about 4 years. I couldn't get past this level because these things just scared me too much.
Side note, this is when I was 9. I first beat the game when I was 13 years old. But can you really blame 9-year-old me? This level is fucking scary, and throughout the whole time, the Canarans are saying shit like this.
Crush his bones. Let him run. Meet better with Saul. Tear off his flesh. Stick bamboo under his nails. Brain. Fresh brain.
Yeah, again. This game is rated E.
After navigating through this hell of a level, we get cornered by a Canaran that goes by the name Reflux, the champion of the Canaran people, who challenges you to a battle in the arena. Remember how I said the Canaran are invincible? Yeah, apparently not Reflux. The champion of the Canaran can be beat by a rabbit with no limbs. To add insult to injury, this boss battle is fucking easy.
Am I the only one who thinks that Reflux really isn't the champion of the Canarans? Like the rest of them are just kind of fucking with him? Like they just set him up to fail for shits and giggles.
With Reflux defeated, the Canaran king... Wait. This guy's the king? Jeez. It looks like both of these assholes are being fucked with. The Child King Gumsy gives you the power of the Leptis, the gods that the Canaran worship. Didn't really take them for the religious type, but I digress. We're granted the power to turn dark lums back into red lums. So after we get that and fight our way through more hoodlums, we finally get to the third and final doctor's office. And like the other two doctors, his methods don't work. So the other two doctors show up and they all play a moving piece on Glowbox's body. Which finally drives Andre out of him, and he gets away.
He's a bug, guys! Just squash him!
Well, anyway, Andre gathers some of his hoodlums and goes to pay Reflux a visit. He asks Reflux to steal Gumsy's scepter, and in return, he'll give Reflux Rayman's head on a platter. Reflux, still butthurt over his loss in the arena, and having his reputation destroyed, accepts the offer. The doctors somehow catch wind of Andre and Reflux's plan and let Rayman and Glowbox know. And to stop them, we're told we'll have to take a shortcut. The longest shortcut. This is the most tedious level in this game. It's not that it's broken design, it's just unnecessary. You're essentially just collecting these crown things to open doors, rinse and repeat a couple times, and that's the level. Afterwards, we find out from the doctors that it's too late. Reflux has stolen the scepter, and him and Andre plan to summon the power of the Leptis so Andre can multiply infinitely and ultimately take over the world. Talk about your past problems. So they send us to go after them in a pirate ship, where you have to stop something from sinking the ship with cannons that are on the north, south, east, and west parts of the ship. After that, we're at the snow level of this game, Summit Beyond the Clouds. This level is just pleasing in all senses. It looks beautiful and the music just hypnotizes you and makes you think of the holidays for some reason. At least to me. I'm pretty sure this level is just here to help you unwind after the hell that was the desert of Canaran. At the end, you're snowboarding down a hill where you must beat Glowbox, who is frozen in a block of ice, to the bottom. And if you don't, you have to start the race over again. This took me 3 tries in this playthrough. Not my personal worst, but not the best. Afterwards, a trapdoor opens and we're brought into the Hoodlum headquarters. That's right. Andre had time to make an entire Hoodlum headquarters since escaping from Glowbox's stomach. This level is full of puzzles that we've had to solve throughout the games with a twist to them. Nothing too treacherous, but this level is pretty fun. When we first arrive, we hear, well, this.
Good day. You are entering the headquarters of the Black Lambda. Exterior temperature, minus 61 degrees. Interior temperature, 98.6 degrees and rising.
And Glowbox wants to find this lady, so I guess that's what we're doing. Not like we need to stop Andre or anything. Glowbox needs to get laid. But surprise, it's a trap. And Glowbox, like the moron he is, falls for it and gets apprehended. I say good riddance, he's kinda useless.
I mean, Andre's no longer in his stomach, so do we really need him around? But he's our friend. We should rescue him, right? Right?
Ugh, fine. I guess we have to, but along the way we find our way into the room of the Horrible Machine, which I guess runs the headquarters. It's never really explained, but it's apparently a boss battle. After defeating it, Andre commands the Hoodlums to flood the headquarters with lava, so now we have to escape. So ascending the headquarters, and with a helpful boosting explosion from the Horrible Machine, we're somehow launched to the final level, the Tower of the Leptis. Also, no sign of Glowbox. Maybe he burned up in the headquarters. Oh well, rest in peace, let's move on. Before we start, we cut to Andre and Reflux summoning the power of the Leptis at the top of the tower and experiencing the full force of it. What this entails? Well, we'll get to that after we ascend the tower. First part of this level is just climbing the tower and beating up wave after wave of hoodlums, some of which are really strong and difficult to kill. After doing this and climbing higher and higher up, we eventually meet up with Glowbox.
Wait, so he's not dead? Huh, good for him.
Glowbox has managed to get a hold of a hover vehicle called the Armaguida. We use this to ascend the tower even more and occasionally use it to shoot hoodlums. And from what Globox says, he seemed to develop a bit of a motherly affection for Andre. When we reach the top, we're greeted by a mutated Reflux who's absorbed the power of the leftists, and he means business. For the first phase of this battle, you've got to power down Reflux's shield with the Lockjaw power-up and pummel the hell out of him with the Heavy Metal power-up while dodging Reflux's fire and lightning. Rinse and repeat a couple times, and we're on to phase 2. In phase 2, Reflux jams the scepter into his back, which makes Reflux more than quadruple his original size. Now, you have to avoid being on the ground when he punches it, and avoid being in the air when he swings his arms. And when he lays his arms out, you've got to climb up while powered with the Heavy Metal fist and beat the shit out of the scepter on Reflux's back. Repeat a few times, and we're on to the final phase. Or so we think. Reflux begins levitating, and platforms start appearing all around him. You must use the helicopter power-up to ascend to the top layer of platforms while avoiding Reflux's sonic boom breath trademark. Once we're at the top, we have to use the shock rocket power-up to hit the scepter on Reflux's back one more time. And that's the end, right? Ho ho, you wish. Reflux grows wings. But never fear, Globox is here with the Armaguidon again. Now we just have to shoot at the giant monstrosity chasing behind us until his shield wears down, and we can hit the scepter on his back. Wait for him to land, stop the hoodlums from going inside him, giggity, rinse and repeat. Man, there's a lot of repetitiveness in this boss battle. Eventually Reflux turns to crystal and shatters, leaving Andre at your mercy. So you make a face at him, and he turns back into a red lump.
Yep, that's all we had to do. Just make a face at him, and he turns back into a red lump. Great. In all seriousness, this is great. I love this game.
Back at the Glader Dreams, Globox starts to miss Andre. Rayman assures him that Andre is much happier now that he's a red lum again, and it's explained that black lumps happen when a red lum gets scared. We're then shown a flashback of Rayman's hands popping off and making shadow puppets to scare a red lum, causing this whole thing. That's right. The real villains of this game are Rayman's hands.
And that's the game.
Now, onto what I think about the game as a whole. As far as the story goes, it's cartoony as all hell, but that's what's charming about it, I think. For those of you who have played the original Rayman, you know that it's very cartoony and just makes very little sense. While Rayman 2 took kind of a darker theme, but Rayman 3 kind of goes back to the Saturday morning cartoon feel. Sure, the game makes very little sense, but it doesn't have to. I mean, you're playing as a rabbit dog thing with no limbs. Seriously, what the hell is Rayman supposed to be? Even Michel Ancel doesn't know what Rayman is, and he invented the character. This is how I see it. If Rayman weren't a video game character and the games weren't games but an animated show, I know, Rayman had an animated series, just hear me out. They would fit right in with the Nicktoons lineup. On to controls. Rayman is extremely easy to maneuver. It's your typical platforming setup. There are some drawbacks, you can't run like in Origins and Legends, but Rayman moves at a reasonable speed. While the controls on the HD remake have improved, there are times in the original releases when the camera doesn't know where to go, or jumping onto platforms can be more difficult than they need to be. Other than that, controls are great. The voice acting in this game is pretty good. The main cast consists of David Gassman as Rayman, John Leguizamo as Globox, who you may know as Sid the Sloth from the Ice Age movies, Billy West as Murphy, who does voices for many things you may know, such as Ren and Stimpy and Futurama, and Ken Starcevic as Andre, who did the voice of Admiral Razorbeard in Rayman 2. I didn't think he had a voice, but alright. Overall, I think the game is still worth checking out today, especially since the games were re-released in HD back in 2012, which I still highly recommend you check out if you have an Xbox 360 or PS3. It's really no surprise that this is a good game. Every game in the Rayman series, save for anything Rabbids related, is a great game. Is it the best in the series? Well, in my opinion, yes. Yes, it is. I love the gameplay, I love the story, and the memories of playing this game as a kid scored some extra points with me. I guess I'll see how I feel after I look at the other games in the series, whenever that may be, but for now, I'm sticking with this one.
I hope you enjoyed my first game review. If you did, maybe consider leaving a like to let me know. And if you'd like to see more of the Matt Cave and just my videos in general, maybe you'd consider hitting that subscribe button that's somewhere around here. And if you'd really like to support the show, you can support me on Patreon, where if you pledge by any amount, you get credited as an executive producer at the end of every episode. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.